we hopped, we chilled, and we pitched into my mountain bred Chico yeast. It's a lot like all the other yeast you get. It's just the one we use up here in the mountains. It's well adapted to the environment and goes a little bit colder. I can get this yeast to go down to 54. We were supposed to have a temperature right around 56 to 58 last night, and it either got hella cold or I'm like already done fermenting and we can just add more dry hop and get this thing packaged. The landlord is in California, heading towards Nevada. We gotta get this done. This is how you make beer quick. We're just doing a how-to. A lot of the homebrewers quit since I started, and I'm not very good at teaching, so I just did it all live. If you haven't checked out my live videos, we did the grain cracking live, we mashed in live, we sparged live, we boiled live, we chilled live, and then we showed you these yeasts going active within an hour. These are healthy, active yeasts. They'll make a moonshine in about 48 hours with great flavor. Good stuff. Let's check it out. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get my thermometer out here. We're going to try and take a temperature of our kettle. And I got this bag of grain and this thermometer. We just kind of like wedge it up in here against that tank like that. And we'll get a temperature of what's in this kettle. We're in a heat wave right now. So I think we're done. I think this thing ripped hard for about 20 hours. And that's all it needed. I really like this malt. Happy using it. Got a good deal on it. Yeah, that's all you can really ask for. I really like that beer I kegged yesterday. It's different. I'm not a huge melon fan, but I paired that melon hop with the Apollo hop, and I enjoyed that. I don't know how long these thermometers take. I'm just killing time right now. I see Bitcoin is down below the price I bought it at the other day. Oh, Lordy. I'm going to have to go suck a dick in the Walgreens parking lot or something. Food's getting so damn expensive. Hey, G-Tag. Like, I don't see how to comment back, but what's up? We got G-Tag VR here. Hey, shit, we got 5 people here. We're just wondering if our beer is done. We did this all live yesterday. We cracked that grain. We mashed in all grain. We boiled, we hopped, we chilled, we fermented. We might be done right now. It's absolutely possible that we got so cold the yeast died, and it's possible this thing's at like 85 degrees, and we are already done well before 24 hours. I'm going to adjust my camera here. I got to move back a little bit. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. So I have a thermometer up against my fermentation unit held in place by this bag of grain. That's going to keep everything, well, it's going to keep that thermometer up against my tank, and we'll see what temperature we're at. $76 degrees. 70, shit, son. How do I, there we go. Yeah, 76 degrees. So this fermentation just completely ripped all night long. We're done fermenting, and it's time to get some dry hops in this thing. So I'm going to be going with the Apollo and the Altus hops to get that dank flavor. You can see here it's already rising up to 78. So the fermenter's colder than the air outside. But the fermenter itself, we came out of the night at 75 degrees. These yeast completely fermented in less than 24 hours. This is like a moonshiner's dream right here. No off flavors. This is Chico yeast. Good stuff. It's hot out here in the air. So, yeah, that airlock is completely stopped. It's time to get some dry hops ready and get going on this flavoring the beer. Yeah, see in the air, I'm already off of my temperature scale just in the air. I'm in Nevada right now. We're in a heat wave. It's hotter than two weasels fucking in a wool sock, I'll tell you what. I don't want to be that guy that's drinking in the morning, but if it's about to get this hot, we're going to go ahead and pour one real quick and see what this beer we did yesterday looks like. That's a pretty pour, really. I'm happy with that. Let's see. There we go. It ain't crystal clear, but that's not bad. We're using that Plumage Archer Pilsner malt, so we expect it to look like yellow piss water. I have a spike. My mom sent me some money and wanted me to buy myself something nice, so I bought that spike fermenter because it's like really big and shiny and has a lot of parts, and it makes it an impressive thing for your mom that don't know anything. But I probably wouldn't buy it unless I had free money. Most of my brewing's done in my big fermenter right over here. Can I zoom out? There we go. Yeah. So the guy that does the welding for Drake's started with a Harbor Freight welding kit. And so he needed to learn how to weld, and I bought his entire first kit, and I've been using it for 20 years. He's gone on to be like a pro brewery welder, but I got some of his early stuff out. I'm just going to try and see if I can pick up my phone. We'll go look at some of these early welds. I mean, I don't know a lot about welding, but it looks like he had to grind it down to make it look right. But like I said, I got 20 years of use out of this thing. It's supposed to be like a 15 gallon, but I feel like it's almost 18 because every time I use it, it doesn't make any sense with where the liquid comes up and how much I get into kegs. It's like, I don't know. It's got a little lightly dish. Yeah, it's all tri-clamp, but it kept the very long dip tube, so you can use it as a unitank. McNash, something like that out of Oakland. But yeah, I got all of his early stuff when he had this Harbor Freight welding kit. I got the boil kettle and the mash tun and the hot liquor tank and this fermenter, and then he scaled up to a big ass liquid nitrogen tank. Oh yeah, I can switch that around. Watch this. Hell yeah, boys. There we go, that's better. Yeah, so I got this stuff all built by a guy that went on to be pro welder for breweries. And I've just kept using it for about 20 years now. I started brewing in 95. This is a good story here. So I didn't drink in 1995. It wasn't really my thing, but I had a great roommate that looked exactly like me. It was pretty uncanny. We were almost twins. Yeah, we're doing holy water. And we lived together in college, and then we got an apartment, and he's like, we should homebrew. And this was in the Charlie Papazian era. And our first batch was a complete disaster. We boiled over on our electric stove and ruined it. And then the sugar went everywhere. And the chinchilla that we had as a pet found the sugar on the power cord to the stove. An absolute nightmare scenario, if you know where I'm going with that one. But we didn't give up. We moved brewing outdoors and learned how to clean up with a dark garden hose and keep it off the stovetop. So I still like cooking outdoors. I still like being outside. I'm sure I got some people out there that would give me a reference that I perhaps had the last dirt floor brewery in California, and I made nothing but clean, light beer with more hops in it than anything you'll find in a hazy. But if you take it to the Oak Barrel Wine Craft Shop, they'll filter it for you using that 3-plate wine filter and make it crystal clear. We did some amazing stuff with Oak Barrel Wine Craft and homebrewing. Good stuff. Yeah, so I'm checking out that stuff we made the other day. We got that, yeah, it was basically the Munich Helles inspired recipe with the Plumage Archer Pilsner malt, a little pinch of Munich, and then we added, we're cleaning out bags. We're about to move out of here, so we had some Crystal 10 and some Caraphone. And then yesterday we brewed up a batch that's exactly like this, but we added rye and corn. Very excited about that. The corn's a little farmhouse, malted corn from a small farm out on the East Coast, and then I got the rye. And that's super spicy. Oh yeah. It's so soft. I don't have soft water. I got a lot of minerals, so I don't know what it is, but it's like I'm drinking it and I'm like, wow, that's soft. Whatever that means. So maybe the grain came in with a little salt on it. I like that. Good hops. I don't really like melon, but I got this hop out of Michigan. What's up, Bobby from Supernatural? Don. Nice to see you here today. I was just checking the temperature of the fermenter I set up yesterday because it stopped bubbling. And, it's at 75 degrees. And so potentially, another one of these light yellow beers, they could ferment out really fast. And then I just got to add more hops today and let it clear up. My landlord did not show up yesterday. But we were ready in any case. We had everything cleaned up. Let me switch this camera around. I'll show you how nice this is looking. When the landlord shows up, there ain't nothing here but clean deck. And a table with 2 ace buckets on it. So we're looking good. Get that back around. Sampling this one. This is another Nova Lager brew. I keep saying they're amazing. Oh, yeah, I'm Bobby. Somebody's told me I look like some character before, and that might be the one. Because they sent me like a video. I was like, oh, yeah, I could totally be that guy. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you checking in today and interacting with me. It's always nice to see people. Yeah, at any moment, my landlord could just show up. And I basically have clothes, blankets, and pillows. My one wheel. And this brew kit. I got a 15-gallon fermenter, 2 5-gallon fermenters, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-gallon buckets that haven't been used for something other than brewing. Yeah. I mean, it's malty. I guess in the olden days, maybe they were pursuing crisper and lighter just like I did, but with malt instead of, well, I guess that's what I did. I started adding rice. So these older English IPA style Pilsner malts, they got a lot of malt character to them. I would probably buy this malt again. If they got the shipping price down to what I paid to have it shipped the first time. It was a great deal. I think I paid like $40 for the bag of malt and $35 to have it shipped. So $75 for the crisp heritage specialty Pilsner malts. That's a great deal. I'd pay that all the time. But then they jacked the prices and the shipping up. And so I was like, well, I can't really pay $90 to ship a bag of grain. At some point, I'm better off like renting a yacht and going to the Chris malting facility and picking it up myself. What we got going on today? I'm in Nevada right now. It's hot. It's starting to get real hot. We're past spring melt for the most part. I'm up about 9,000 feet. Yeah, it looks like all the snow's gone. The springs are dying down. I'm going to try and get me some of that beer I made into that 1 gallon keg, take it up to the Tahoe Rim Trail. I'm in Nevada. I don't know where I want to go yet. I mean, I know what I want to see and I know where I want to meet the people, and it's not the same spot and they're not close together. Maybe, if it's hot and I started a new job, so I need to be available for work. So the best spots don't get cell reception. And I could go to a more popular spot that has cell reception, but then I'm going to have to give away all this beer I just made. And I really like this beer. This is great. Oh, Arizona's awesome. I had never been to Arizona, but I went to Arizona on this road trip I just did. I drove out of Nevada into California to catch Route 66 around Amboy. And I drove all the way across Arizona on I-40, Route 66. It was some of the most amazing natural views I had ever seen. The sunrise, the sunsets were absolutely amazing everywhere. The speed limits were insanely fast, so if you weren't really into it, you could get across Arizona quick. But I took some detours. I went and spent a whole week at the Grand Canyon. I'm mostly a rural backpacker that likes to go long distances solo, and the Grand Canyon was so damn big, it blew my mind. I had to just stay there and look at it for a few days before I could even move on. And let's see, I saw Sedona's a little yuppie town. I was there about 25 years ago. It was starting to become a little yuppie town. Now it's like a full-blown little commune village with no free camping anywhere. Flagstaff was cool. I lived in San Diego and drove through Phoenix once. It was a little rough. It's kind of nice, like a Chicago or Oakland. But I liked Arizona a lot. I was blown away by the scenery and how it's like mountains that go down instead of up. And the way they have to build bridges or spans across the ravines was really sweet. I look forward to going to Arizona. I bought the backcountry map book to find that BLM land to camp on and have a better idea of what to go see. But yeah, Arizona and Nevada were close, but I took the long way into Arizona. I take the short way next time. Arizona, definitely my favorite state on the Route 66 route. Better than New Mexico. Texas being my least favorite. Oklahoma is below Arizona and New Mexico, but even Oklahoma, I got to see a raging thunderstorm, and the storms in Oklahoma are no joke. Tombstone. Yeah, I'm close to Reno in Nevada. It's a good area to be in, but I gotta move soon. It's weird. Like, I lost my job, and my landlord lost her lease on a house they had been in for 28 years. And so I can't afford to pay rent, and they want to live in their house. So kind of, I guess I'd rather see the homeowner move in than have it turned into an Airbnb or whatever. So I'm going to be moving down towards the Sacramento area. And I guess we'll set up shop on the American River or something down there. Definitely got in all the brewing I could here while I had the place in the stream. I burned through like 300 pounds of grain in a month. And I have a comical amount of bag of grain I need to get rid of. But my landlord ain't shown up yet. Yeah, Callie. It's like a pollen storm here. I have to clean off the screen to see what's going on. Ah, Tombstone, Callie. Is that near the Mojave Preserve area? Joshua Tree? I feel like there has to be some way to type, and I just don't see it. So it's like I could see the text, but oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Cali will be cool. I've lived there before. It's expensive, but there's a lot more opportunity to find work. And I got a camper van, so I got a lot of opportunities to exploit that natural forest landscape. Oregon's one of my favorite states too. They got like amazingly beautiful rivers, and even Google Maps don't know how the roads go. Oh yeah, yeah. I appreciate you hanging out. I ain't got nothing going on. It's a Sunday here. Uh, I think my beer's already fermented. We're gonna get some hops in it later today. I got Apollo and Altus. They're in the dank family of hops, and so you either really pick up on the dank, or you think it tastes like garlic and onions. It's a kind of a divisive hop, but I'm into it. Arizona had really cool rest stops. The sun's so intense, I was surprised at how easy. I mean, I'm comparing to all the other states I drive through. I was like, wow, Arizona has like a rest stop every 2 hours. You could just like pull off, and the rest stops are even scenic. It's like everything in Arizona was really pretty. The economy didn't look super good, but oh yeah, Oregon's good. California, Washington. I've only seen Washington when it's sunny. I went to Seattle. It was amazing. You could see the mountain. It was sunny the whole time, and everyone told me that's not what it is there. So I have this warped vision of Washington as being like a really far northern California, and I'm told it's not at all like that. But yeah, I've been looking for land in Arizona, Utah, Oregon. Idaho seems a little weird. Everyone I know from Idaho is weird. And I know a lot of people from Idaho. They're all into like hippie commune shit. Or they're like far right wingers that have to like take their gun to Walmart. And I think they have to drive to Oregon to get weed. It's really weird there. It's like they're super free but ultra conservative. It's kind of like the Mormons from Utah moved north or something. I don't really know. I'm a product of the US education system. So I don't know how Idaho relates to its neighbors or where its population came from. It just felt really weird in Idaho. I was like, yeah. I like the whole West Coast though, that Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona, and then like New Mexico is a little different. Like the scenery changed, it became like a really crappy desert. And then the only thing you got to look forward to is you're heading into Texas, and Texas really sucked. I had been to Houston, and Houston was actually a really cool city because I met some people from Germany and a Houston native that showed us around, and we had a truck we could get around in, and Texas was really huge. So having someone that wanted to like drive for hours to show you around Texas was really good. But just going across it on the I-40 really sucked, even though it was just a tiny slice of Texas. It was a lot like driving through a sandblaster with 10,000 windmills on the side of it. Yeah, I guess it's mostly a home brewer channel. I'm a scientist by trade. I started at Michigan State University. I developed some ideas of genetic inheritance and then got poached out to the West Coast by people from Seattle. I was supposed to move to Seattle, but the Seattle people were in San Diego, and I've just been moving from San Diego north. I made it to the Bay Area, then I cut across to Reno, and now I need to get back into Oregon and keep going north into Washington. I'll get up there eventually. And get another beer. I got this. No, that's not what I want to show. I want to show the little tap system. Oh, look at that. No hose. You just have to run it at a low pressure and it pours great. And if you remember to top the pressure up at night, you're good to go after you vent the pressure in the morning. These, what are they, torpedo kegs? They give you room to get your hand in there and vent the pressure and everything. It's really nice. All right. Okay, that should do. Yeah, today I want to rake the yard, get all of that loose top material that I just threw over the balcony up into some of these bags. I got stickers that let me put the bags on the street. Someone will make them go away. We got that brew in yesterday. We're out of base malt. That's the last mash in for the Third Creek Moonshine facility. Last mash in for Lagered in Life at Altitude. I'm going to move down to Sacramento and rename myself the Chico Brewing Company. I might have to start a new channel for that, and I'll just be poking fun at Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. I can't believe how good this is. The whiskey sucked, but this beer is awesome. And once I adjust that recipe, that whiskey will be good. I just need more corn. Or maybe not everything can even be all grain. Maybe I need to put some sugar in it and thin it out a bit. That's a brown sugar, a little rum character, but this heritage Czech malt lager, but with West Coast hops, is good. I continue to be impressed by this Nova Lager yeast just because it's so fast. I've used it 10 times now, and it's always done in 3 days. That's amazing for a lager. It don't make sulfur, so it's immediately drinkable. Really great stuff for enjoying homebrew. Anybody play Type Racer? Want to race? No one wants to race. We're out here. We're live. All right, we're going to cut this off in about a minute. I'm reasonably convinced that my fermentation ripped all night long. It's finished in 24 hours. And it's time to add a little biofine and some Apollo Dry Hop. And a sprinkle of the Altus. And like 8 pellets of the Big Mac. And the rest of the Centennial. And that's what we're going to do next. We'll go ahead and cut this one off. It takes me about, we'll just say 5 hours to make a beer. What's her face? Hello, what's her face? I appreciate the question. It takes about 5 hours to make a beer, from cracking the grain to being done cleaning up. And then this one here that I made yesterday is done brewing. The fermentation is completed in about 18 hours. And now we need to trick something into bringing all the yeast that are making it super cloudy to the bottom of the tank. If you, I mean, like you can get it down as cheap as about $19 for 5 gallons, which would be 50 12-ounce cans of beer for about $20, $10 a case. More Beer has really great specials. A lot of times I'll buy beer kits from More Beer just because they're on sale, and it'll be it's like $20 to make 5 gallons of beer. That's pretty sweet. Comes with the hops and the grain. It's all ready to go, and all you gotta do, it's just like making oatmeal. You heat up the water, you dump in the grain, and then you run it through like a nylon laundry bag and then put it in a 5 gallon bucket, and 3 days later you can put it in the bottles. No, darker beer takes about the same amount of time. One of the crazy things is that you can get a, what is it? Well, the dark grains are just kind of roasted, and then you can get them with and without the husks. So if you get a huskless dark malt, you can make a beer that's as light as Bud Light but black. So you can make a dark beer actually faster because you can't see through it anyways. That's my opinion. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, if I make this a black Pilsner, you can't see that it's not perfectly clear, and it don't matter as much. You could drink it in like 4 days. But I went for yellow. But yeah, darker beers are the same amount of time as light beer, but if you're just hanging out and drinking them, you don't need it to fall crystal clear because it's black and you can't see through it anyways. I want to recommend Howdy Brewer, but they're not that good. Yeah. I work in metric, I guess. So I bash in. I heat my water to 65 degrees, and then I add the grain and I let it sit for like a half hour. And then I raise the temperature to 75 degrees, and I take the grain out of the water and kind of let it drain. So about 150 Fahrenheit to 175. The lower the temperature that's able to activate the enzymes in the barley, the less mouthfeel you get out of the fermentation. So you'll have less residual long chain sugars and a more complete breakdown into fermentables, and you'll get a drier, cleaner beer. And if you like a little chewy mouthfeel, you can mash in at like 158, almost 10 degrees higher than me. There's a huge window. I aim for the low end, and then if I come in hot, I'm not worried about it. And if I come in low, I can heat it up. I'm a wimp. I don't want to try to come in hot, go over and be ruined and have to throw the whole batch of grain out to the hogs. But yeah, the mouthfeel is temperature dependent, but I would be pretty confident that I could search YouTube and there's a video of somebody comparing 150 to 158 and they can't find the glass. So a lot of this is just old myth and legend, and making beer is basically as difficult as making oatmeal on a large scale. But you just make a lot of warm water and then you add the grain and you wait a bit. Oh, thanks for hanging out, What's Her Face. I really appreciate the questions. It's great to interact with some of the people tuning in. I just realized YouTube puts the live kind of in the scroll, and it's like, hey, that's pretty sweet. People just click into lives they know nothing about, hang out for a bit, and it's great to see some of you up here. Uh, morebeer.com and oakbarrelwinecraft.com are two excellent resources to look at for your homebrew supplies and questions. Oak Barrel grew up through the Prohibition era and renegade distillation. They used to have experts that could do everything from assemble a barrel and get it charred to making a fine brown ale or whatever. They got recipes from decades of experience. They're just really expensive compared to everything that comes pre-bagged and optimized, but you could literally probably pick up the phone to Oak Barrel and have them guide you to a recipe towards what you want to make, and they'd bundle it up and ship it out. I'm glad it's summer. Man, I want to get up into Oregon. You probably watch the same YouTube I watch. There's this Jacob guy doing crazy cliff jumps. Like, crazy guy with a mullet chases his pet rock off a log. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to go find that guy. I kind of know where he's at by how the rivers look, but Oregon's a huge state. And finally, the land I've been looking at is thawed out. So half of the question, why is this so cheap, is it's buried under a fuck ton of snow. And you can't use it for except 3 months out of the year. But that's pretty sweet. Like, you can still use it 3 months out of the year, so that's a $5,000 value in most rental markets today. It's insane. All right. Looks like that's all the questions that we have for today. We went a little bit over what I said I was going to do, but I love interacting with you and answering your questions. It's great to see some interaction. I'm going to go ahead and close this down now and go weigh out some hops and adjust this beer.